Hello student, let's start the eyeball. So eyeball, that is also called the bulbous oculi. In Ayurveda it is called the netra. So the eyeball or a globe of eye, it is a organ of sight and closely resembles a camera in its structure. The eyeball, it is highly durable structure for its wall enclosing a refractory media. It is made up of three coats, and the fluid filled within distributes a hydraulic pressure uniformly to maintain its shape. Then the location of the eyeball. So eyeball, it should be occupies the anterior 1/3 of the orbital cavity, or that is called the orbit, and it is embedded in the fat. It is enclosed in the thin fibrous sheath called the Tenon's capsule or the tenon fascia, which separate the eyeball from the fat. The optic nerve, which emerges from it a little medial to the posterior pole. Shape and size of the eyeball. So it is almost spherical in shape and has a diameter about the 24 mm. Then the tunics of the eyeball. So eyeball, that consists of the three concentric coat, that is the outer fibrous coat consisting of the sclera and the cornea. Second, that is the middle vascular coat consisting of the choroid, ciliary body and the iris, and the inner nervous coat consisting of the retina. So let's see the detail of this structure of the eyeball. So this is firstly seen the outer coat, that is called the fibrous coat, which consists of the sclera here, that is the outermost part, white color, and the cornea, this anterior part, convex part. So let's start the sclera. So sclera, it is the hard opaque and forms the 5/6 part of the eyeball, and it is composed of the dense fibrous tissue which maintains the shape of the eyeball. So it is thickest behind near to enter, that is the optic nerve, and thinnest at behind sclerocorneal junction. So here this one, that is the sclera is attached with the cornea, so called the sclerocorneal junction. So here in this region it is thinnest, and here in the posterior side where that is the optic nerve, it enters into that the eyeball, here that should be form the thickest part. So here it should be forming near about the 6 mm, that is the thinnest part, where that is the sclerocorneal junction or the limbus should be present, or it is called the limbus also. Then the outer surface, it is the white, here you can see, and smooth, covered with the Tenon's capsule. Then the outer part is covered with the conjunctiva, so this one, and it is separated from the choroid by the pericordial space, which consists of the delicate cellular tissue. Then the sclera anteriorly attached with the cornea at the sclerocorneal junction. So here you can see this junction, it is called the sclerocorneal junction, or that is also called the limbus. The deep part of the limbus, that consists of a circular canal called the canal of Schelem. So here you can see, that is the canal of Schelem, that is also called the sinus venosus gland. The aqueous humor drains throughout this canal. So here, then sclera fuse posteriorly with the dural sheath of the optic nerve. So here you can see, that is the optic nerve, and this is the dural sheath. It is provide the insertion of extrinsic muscle of the eyeball, the recti muscle front of the equator, and the oblique muscle, they should be behind the equator. So here in this diagram you can see, that is these are the recti muscle, superior rectus, inferior rectus, medial rectus and lateral rectus. So that should be attached to anterior to that the circumference or the equator, and this oblique muscle, that is the inferior oblique, and this is the superior oblique, that should be attached to the posterior part of the equator. Then the sclera pierced by the number of structures. That is first the optic nerve. So this one. So optic nerve, it should be inserted or pierced inferomedial to the posterior pole of the eyeball. Then the ciliary nerves. So it pierces around the entire part of the optic nerve and the artery, ciliary artery. Then the four veni cortici or choroid venous, that should be passes out through the sclera behind the equator. So here in this diagram you can see that is, this is the optic nerve, and with that is the vessel, it should be enters into that the eyeball with that the optic nerve. So here you can see that is the ciliary artery, which is enters into the eyeball on both side of that the optic nerve, and this is the anterior ciliary artery. So that should be also present on the periphery of the sclera, and these are the veni cortici. So these one. The sclera is almost avascular and loose connective tissue between that the conjunctiva and the sclera. It is called the episclera. So here that is the conjunctiva is present anteriorly. After then let's see that is the conjunctiva. So this one. So conjunctiva, it is a thin, moist and the transparent and protective mucous membrane composed mostly the stratified columnar epithelial cell with numerous globular cells are present in it, and also present a connective tissue. So this conjunctiva, that should be covered the most of anterior part of the eyeball, and it have the two parts, that is the palpebral part and the bulbar part. So the palpebral part, it lines the posterior surface of the eyelid, and the bulbar conjunctiva, it covers the anterior surface of the eyeball, and the space which is present between that the conjunctiva and the sclera, so it is made by the connective tissue. So this space, it is called the episcleral space. So this one. After then next to it, that is the cornea. So here this one, this is the cornea. So it is the transparent, replace the sclera over the anterior 1/6 part of the eyeball, this one, and the junction of the sclera and that is the cornea, it is called the sclerocorneal junction, or that is also called the limbus. So here in this diagram you can see that is the cornea. So it is more convex than the sclera and separated from sclera by a space called that is the anterior chamber. So here you can see this is the anterior chamber. The cornea, it is the avascular and nourished by a lymph which circulates the connected spaces, or that is the liquid which is present into that the space or into that the anterior chamber. So it is supplied by the branches of ophthalmic nerve and the short ciliary nerve. Histologically, that the cornea, it is made by the three layers from before to backwards. So first it is called the corneal epithelium, which is made by the stratified squamous non-keratinized cells. Then the second layer, it is called the Bowman's membrane, which is anterior elastic lamina. Then the third layer, that is called the substantia propria, which consists of the dense collagen fibers. And the fourth, that is the Descemet membrane. And last one, that is the simple squamous mesothelium. So that is the layer which is made by that the cornea. After then, that is the middle coat, which is vascular coat, and consist of the choroid, that is the middle layer, then the ciliary body. So here you can see that is the ciliary body and the iris. So this one. So let's start from the choroid. So next to it, that is the choroid. So this one. So choroid, it is the pigmented layer separated from sclera from the retina. So that should be present between that the inner retinal layer and the outer sclera layer. Anteriorly it ends into that the ora serrata. So here in this diagram you can see that is the choroid, this one. So anteriorly it is continuous with or ends with the ora serrata. So here you can see that is the ora serrata by a margins with the ciliary body. So these two are the ciliary body, and posteriorly it is perforated by the optic nerve. So here you can see which firmly attach to that the choroid. So here this is the optic nerve which perforated posteriorly, and anteriorly that is end into that the ora serrata, that means into that the ciliary body. Then the outer surface of the choroid, that is separated from the sclera by a suprachoroidal lamina, which is travels by a ciliary vessels and the nerve. The attachment to that the sclera is loose and a entirely striped structure. Then structurally it consists of the some layers. First, that is the supracordial lamina, which is made up of collagen fiber, the elastic fiber and the pigmented cells. Then the second layer that consists of the vascular lamina. Third layer it is called the choriocapillary lamina, which nourishes the rods and the cones. And the inner basal lamina, which is thin transparent membrane firmly adherent to the outer pigmented layer of the retina. So that is the choroid. After choroid we can see that is the ciliary body. So here you can see on the both side that is the ciliary bodies. So these are thickened part of the uveal tract, and it is present just posterior to that the corneal limbus. So here that is the limbus is present. It is continuous anteriorly with the iris. So this one here you can see that is the iris, and posteriorly with that the choroid. It is suspend a lens. Here you can see that is the lens, and help in the accommodation for the near vision. Then whenever you can take this section of that the ciliary body, it is triangular in shape, and ciliary zonule, it is thicken the vitreous membrane filled with the posterior surface of the ciliary process. Then the ciliary muscles is a ring of unstriped muscle which are longitudinal, radial and the circular. So in this region that is the muscles are present. So these muscles are of the three types, the longitudinal, medial and the circular. After then let's see that is the iris. So this one. So iris, this is the anterior part of the uveal tract, and it form a certain circular opening. So here it is called the pupil. The size of the pupil controls the amount of the light entering into that the eyeball, because that the pupil consists of the muscles called the sphincter pupillae, which is help for the dilatation and the constriction of the pupil, and it is present between the cornea and the lens and divide. Here you can see that is present between that the cornea and the lens, and because of that is the iris, it divides the aqueous humor into that the anterior chamber and the posterior chamber. Then the anterior surface of the iris is covered with the single layer of the mesothelium, and the posterior surface by a double layer of deeply pigmented cell. The color of the iris determine the number of pigmented cell So if the pigment should be absent into that the iris, so iris it's seen as a blue due to deflection of light in the front of black posterior surface. So that is the iris.